Hi folks, and welcome to another Skippy track guide. Now, I was actually just going to record this final chicane because this is the alternative track. So the only difference is every other corner is exactly identical, but the chicane is slightly different coming onto the start finish straight. And then I actually enjoyed the lap that much. I thought, bugger it, do you know what? I'll do the whole lap. So you're going to get a full lap of the Skippy one. I'll put a link in the top somewhere for the other Skippy track guide just in case you want to have a go and have a nosy around there. And one thing I did notice is I do have a slightly bent wing, so that corresponds to the setup. So I am -5 on the spring perch offset, so the Skippy as low as possible, mainly because of this last chicane. But going through the first chicane where the curbs are about a meter high, yeah, I did damage the front wing. You will hear the Skippy crunch on the full pace laps at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's crack on with this. So you can see usage at 34%, so quite low for a track guide, and 65 Fahrenheit, which is 18 degrees, so nice and nippy. Put an overlay above my head of how I got into the session, just in case you're new here and do want to have a nosy around about how I get into these sessions. So it should be above my head right about now. Otherwise, let's crack on and get on with it. Right then, start finish straight at Zolder. We are back again, and we have some fantastic advertisement here on the right hand side, and we're actually going to use this as a braking marker. So the second to last logo right about here. Just as we approach it, we are starting to stand on the brakes down into third gear. Roll the car in really nicely. We can take a fair amount of apex curb, so let's do that as we creep over. Nick a tire onto the I have found a lot, well, I hope a bit more time by extending track limits, let's call it like that, and yeah, focus on the corner and get a relatively decent exit without going too wide. You can go all the way on that green concrete and not much issues. Now, really awkward to see, but there is a white line at the mark in the pit exit, and just past that I've kind of tried to mark it on there. We're standing on the brakes again, going down into third, and really late turn in here. We want a nice late apex as best we can. I do actually make a tiny little mistake here, and I don't get enough on the curb, so that actually pushes us on a wide exit. You can see me lifting mid-corner here, which isn't really ideal. I should be full throttle all the way out, and I still hit these giant sausage curbs. So turn in a bit later and take more curb would be my advice around there. Coming around this little doohickey, it's full throttle, so don't even worry about it. All we're trying to do is maximize Skippy speed. Coming into turn 4 now and end of the service road, just as the car approaches that / passes it, we're standing on the brakes a little bit. I would say go down to third gear, couple of first laps when tires are cold. It is a little bit tricky. Again, I want to take a little bit more curb than I actually did there, but again, I haven't had to lift off the throttle. I've got a good exit here. You can nip a tire onto the gravel trap without too much of an issue, but if any of your car drifts over, then that's not going to be ideal. Coming all the way down now to apparently turn 5 chicane, and good overtaking opportunity down here, but make sure you get it done before the chicane. Marking the red and white wall there, and just before we approach it, we're standing on the brakes. Now, in my last track guide video, which I advise you to go look at, I tell you to avoid these big blue curbs or grey curbs. What do? I hit it. So this is what happens when you do hit it, and you absolutely launch the car on the second one. So not exactly the fastest way through there, and that's where we damaged the front left hand side wing. We gave it a bit of rotation, which was a bit of a pain in the rear. Anywho, we gloss over that and we come into a whole section called turn 7, and we're trying to look for a brake marker, and the best one I can pick is the blue sign on the left. We did do a timing one on the last track guide, but this seems to be better, the blue sign. Brake down to first gear, use all of the entry curb that we can, and we can take a good chunk of curb. It's actually dipped there, so it gives us a good bit of grip on the way through. Avoid the blue and grey curbs, bluey grey, whatever colour they are, and I'm still in first gear through here, and I change up, but basically coming out of there you want to stay as left possible to make sure this corner is full throttle. You can nip a bit of blue curb there because it's absolutely fine to do so, but don't drift too far wide. We want a good exit through this long sweeping corner now to basically give us a good run down to turn 8, which will be a fantastic overtaking opportunity. So we're still in slow motion at the minute, so you can see there just minimizing steering angle, getting a nice smooth line. Don't run too wide. There is a cheeky little off track over there, which is a little bit annoying really, because you can see me come back off the curve quite quickly, but we'd lost over that. Stay to the left, shortest distance, and we are hunting for a braking zone again. And it's kind of the shadows / the end of the wall when they're kind of approaching the end of my screen. That's where I'm standing on the brakes, all the way down to the first gear, and you can actually cut this really quite well. Stick a tyre onto the dirt, it doesn't seem too much of an issue. Now I do run wide here and it didn't cause any trouble. I still got a relatively good drive. I went through my last track drive and at various places down the next straight checked my speed and it was exactly the same. So other track guide I didn't take as much dirt, this track guide I did, and it was exactly the same result. So entirely your decision which one you want to take forward there. Through this little bit of an S, you're just trying to minimize steering angle and maximize speed as always. And this is where we come to the difference bit on this track, and it is the final chicane. The other track guide obviously has the final chicane, this is the alternate one, and going to be a good overtaking opportunity down here, but I wouldn't advise going through this chicane too wide. It's very fast and there is a really horrible slowdown right on the left hand side on the inside here. About the 100-meter board, we are deciding to lift off. You will need a dab of brakes through here on cold tyres. So you can see the lift there, and we're back on throttle. Going to pause it here because this wasn't a slowdown, but that is where the slowdown is. So be very, very mindful of that. It's a 1.4 second slowdown, and of course you can see I'm back on full throttle at the minute. It's going to hurt your lap time and hurt your race. You can clip a bit of dirt there, not too worried about off tracks going through there, but just don't run wide because that wall on the left hand side does pop out quite quickly. And it's a dash to the line really, and it's not too bad. I don't think last lap will be much of an issue, but going into turn 1 on the next lap will be. And we do eventually cross the line with a 1:41.220, which I was quite happy with. Definitely quicker than the last one, but we've taken a quicker route around the corner. As I say, go check out that last lap guide because it's well, there's only one difference between the two of them, so it would be good to pick up different ideas. I've probably mentioned things in this one that I didn't mention in the other one, and vice versa. So it gives you 2 videos of me waffling on in your ears. Otherwise, guys, I wish you a very good week, and I will catch you on the next one.